Hello everyone, and welcome to this pick a card reading. So the purpose of this reading is to give insights to you on the romantic discourse that you're in right now and help you understand the kind of love relationship and lessons that you're going through. Okay, so we've got group number 1, which is the whale, and we've got a clear quartz crystal. We've got group number 2, which is the 2 elephants and the amethyst, and group number 3 is the deer with the black obsidian. So just take a few minutes, meditate, take 3 deep breaths, and ask yourself which card relates to you and your romantic discourse right now. What insights and lessons do you need to learn? And then see which one you are drawn to. Pause the video if you have to, and then I'll skip to the readings. Okay, so I'm going to start with group number 1, which is the whale. So I'll just move those ones out of the way, and I'll put the whale, let's pull out a bit. That's it. So I'll keep the whale up here so you know this is your pile. Okay, so for group number 1, asking Spirit, can you tell us the theme of group number 1's relationship? What is their romantic discourse that they're on right now? So I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that because that wanted to come out as well. Okay, so we've got the Moon and Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so immediately what I'm getting is the feminine feels very hidden right now. She feels like she's not being seen for who she truly is, what's going on. It's almost like she's living for an idea of love that she likes, and she's got the Knight of Pentacles offering her things that possibly her ego needs, you know, like dates, gifts, being the provider, kind of winning her over with his winnings, masculine traits. He might have won awards, he might be the best at fighting, he might be the best at racing, or he might be the best at his job, but he's kind of wanting to showcase that he is a winner, and he's kind of drawn to the feminine here. Again, it's not really based on genders, it's more about the energies of masculine and feminine. And I feel like in this case we've got maybe about 80% masculine and 20% feminine in this one, where it's like just using the 20% to connect to this feminine, who I would say is about 75% feminine and 25% masculine, because I feel like they have ambitions, they have dreams that they're working towards, and they're quite happy being soft right now. They're quite happy leaning into nature, leaning into the dreams that they have. Not really acting or moving right now, just more retrospection and reflection. They quite like being taken care of though. And it's working for now. I don't feel like they have a true connection. I feel like this one is looking at them and they're looking at what could possibly be. It's kind of like they're offering a placeholder for this one while this one dreams up a better reality for them, because they're still discovering themselves, and this one's just seeing winning kind of the status quo of what's normal in their culture right now. So whether this is long lasting, it could be, but I'm more feeling like it's for growth. It's a stepping stone for growth. Quite young energy I'm getting. And I feel like it's more about accomplishing and seeing tasting it and seeing if there's anything more to life. Do they want more to life? And what does this person bring me? What do I bring to the table? Is it all of me? Do they satisfy all of me? It's quite thought-provoking, this one. Okay, so can you tell us more about this romantic discourse here? Where is it going? Where is this romantic discourse going? Or whatever you want to share with the spirit. Okay, so I'm going to put that one down. So this is karmic release. Okay, so here I feel like the masculine and the feminine energies have been separated. They see each other in different roles. And I think it's about learning how your energy settles into this particular dynamic. So this could be a connection born from the tradition in your family. So this is quite normal for this particular gender to play this role and this particular gender to play this role. And the kind of learning, does this feel fulfilling to me? And how can I change this? I think this relationship, one of the lessons is to learn to push the boundaries of what's normal. I feel like this is just the beginning. This is the relationship you have when you learn what you want. And then after this relationship, you start attracting who you really are. You start attracting who's really the right fit for you. And you kind of become who you never thought existed, because you were kind of living in a paradigm of what the culture or your family laid out for you. So is that for both? I think that's for both of them. I'm not sure this one even wants a traditional romantic relationship. I think this one is more free-spirited. I'm getting Sagittarius energy here, but kind of cloaked by Taurus energy. So I feel like this one wants to experiment. And this one, I'm just getting Pisces energy. I don't feel like they feel they have a lot of responsibility in this relationship. They just see themselves as, oh, this is normal, this is what is expected. And I think they both might be getting a bit bored in the relationship. Okay, so I'm going into my past life deck. I want to know if these two people knew each other in a past life, and if they agreed to come together in this life. Father. So Father. I'd like to pull another card just to clarify Father. Fathers could be very significant to both of you. The feminine one might be trying to almost create the safety they felt with their father, keep that idea alive. Maybe they're disconnected from their father now and they just want to honour it, and this is how they're honouring it, but they're realising it's not really doing the trick. And the masculine here, predominantly masculine I should say, maybe feeling more like the child. Like, I'm not you. I want to play, I want to explore. I feel like this one is more, I'm not a gender, I'm not a role. I want to play, I want to explore. I can fulfill this. It's kind of like an arrogance, like, yes, of course I can do this. I'll show you I can do this. But does it mean anything to me? Getting the answer no, spoilers. So this is, so Sorry, I'm feeling out of breath. I'm not sure why I'm feeling out of breath. I'm not really moving. I don't know if people in this pile are having panic attacks, feeling a bit anxious, feeling a bit trapped, maybe feeling like they need to make some hard decisions and that's difficult. They don't want to break the status quo, but they also know that this isn't it. This isn't making them happy, and they're getting quite worked up about it. We'll get onto healing messages soon. We're just going to clarify further with leaving or travel. So I definitely can see this one here. So they are going to split off from this narrative because they don't know who they are. They're going to travel on this open road. They don't know what's there, and that's the most exciting thing to them. Uncertainty, super exciting. And I feel like this one causes a lot of uncertainty in this one because this one really needs stability to dream. All this one knows is security. I will latch onto you, I will hang on to you, and then I can play. So with this one clearly being a bit detached, even though they're looking at them, it's more like, I'm looking because it's dutiful. And they're relying on that to look away. So when this one leaves and goes on their travels, this one gets anxious. I'm seeing loads of fish here, which represents Pisces again to me. This one, I feel like this one has wounds around loss, possibly abandonment. And they dream of something long-lasting and stable, where they can be mystical and dreamy. So they have anxious attachment here. They're more interested in traveling into the astral planes, into spirituality, and they want to play with their identity and their gender, etc., etc. Okay, so because we've gone into some wounds, I'm just going to pull some healing messages for this one. So how can my feminine energy here heal? So get spiritually fit. Okay, and how can my masculine over here heal? Oh, 2 here. Our higher self, the right path. Oh, 3. I'll take them all. That's fine. Oh, God, there's 5. What I've learned through these readings is to just take them all. If Spirit has a lot to say, Spirit has a lot to say. And this is a really big turning point in yours and your person's lives. This may not be the reading you're expecting. I don't know. You may hate it. I'm not sure how you will relate to it. If it doesn't resonate, maybe pick another pile. But if it does, you can leave a comment. It's very interesting. Just going to make sure this is perfectly aligned. It's very pretty. So there's a lot of potential for healing in this connection. So get spiritually fit. Okay, so they both feel like they're quite weak in their identity. They feel like they latch on to still ideas, really, of who they should be, how they should live in this life, and how they should get fulfillment and security. And they've kind of experimented with that, and it's not working. Let's pull them down. Okay, so the energies within you. So this is letting them explore the energies within them. So even if they don't travel physically, they need to travel inside because there's so much more to them than what they're expressing out into the world right now. There's a whole world within them. This one in particular, this one I just see going to different countries and connecting with others in different cultures and learning new things about life, almost like connecting to a darker side of it, in the sense of they can see this, so they can heal this, they can learn about it, they can expose it, and they can take it. And this one's quite magical as well. I feel like this one has spiritual gifts, and I think that's why they crave security, because they know without that grounding, spirituality can seem, you can put yourself at risk by being open all the time and not being grounded, you can drain yourself. You can get ill, you can get grumpy and mardy because you're pulling yourself too thin. It's whereas when you get grounded and replenished, you start to have that balance again. I'm not sure if you can say earth and spirituality are like masculine and feminine, but everything needs a balance for you to be healthy. And this one, the energy is within them. This one has kind of like a sordid sense of humour that they want to explore. I feel like this one could be very popular, have lots of friends, and lots of interesting places. And I think they're quite business savvy. They can start a small business by themselves to connect groups of people and to kind of explore radical ideas, radical sense of humour. They see themselves, I kind of see like a tavern, and they see themselves with the big pint, crashing it onto the table and getting everybody to cheer. That's what I see for them. So they're quite like, when you look inside at both of their energies, they dream of different worlds. They're kind of like Gaston and Belle, but not saying that here Gaston is the villain at all. It's more like a sordid sense of humour, the cheeky person that you have a crush on, that everyone has a crush on. And they love to just charm and be casual and just to learn about people in life and gather knowledge. And this one's more about unraveling the deepest mysteries and connecting with it. So very different indeed. So the right path, I'm going to turn these over to look at the messages. The right path. So clearly this relationship is to teach them the right path to go on. So they've gone on the path they've been told to go on, and this is going to teach them which path to go on. So I do see separation, but I think this is mutually beneficial. I think your souls have agreed to do this to help each other. Up here, higher self. Our higher selves have agreed to this to help each other. We're in a good place. It's all good. Practice happiness. So if they maybe do mantras, maybe do affirmations about your own personal happiness and own it. So this one could say, I own that I have a sordid sense of humour. Life is happy, life is joyful. And this one could say, I own that the mysteries of life are full of magic and intuition. I am happy, life is joyful. Like, lean into who you really are and practice happiness with that, even if it's just affirmations. So I'm going to read out the messages now. So get spiritually fit. We all want to have clarity, inner strength, and a sense of purpose in our lives. But like physical fitness, it can take effort and ongoing commitment. Getting spiritually fit means living authentically, being true to yourself in everything you do, in your work, relationships, and leisure time, and making life choices from a place of courage, love, and trust, instead of from fear, which is really what living the Reiki way is all about, and that's living with the universal life force energy. So there, what sticks out to me is making life choices from a place of courage, love, and trust. I feel like that's important for both. So I'm going to flip over practice happiness because that's under energies. So practice happiness because, as His Holiness the Dalai Lama says, the purpose of life is to be happy. Get those light vibrations. Life force energy, ki or chi, flows within the physical body through energy centers called chakras and pathways called meridians, as well as flowing around the body in a field of energy called the aura. The energy field responds to everything we think, say, feel, and experience, and it becomes disrupted or blocked whenever we consciously or unconsciously accept and absorb negative words, thoughts, feelings, or experiences. Allowing Reiki to flow into us helps to unblock and disperse negative energies. So what's holding these back are these negative beliefs that they're doing something wrong by stepping away from the path that they're on. And I think you notice when you let your natural life flow align with itself, you notice when it's off, you notice when you've blocked it. So I think using those affirmations to connect with yourselves, you notice when you're disrupting that because you're letting somebody else's idea of happiness in. So the right path. If you are feeling fearful, depressed, or pessimistic, this indicates that something is wrong in your life or you are not going in the right direction. Whereas if you are feeling enthusiastic, optimistic, or content, then you are on the right path, doing what you need to do, being who you really are. So again, these are just key messages from Spirit about trusting your feelings in your body. So you're not supposed to be blocked and disgruntled. It means you're out of flow with yourself. When you feel in flow and at peace, you're on the right path. I'm going to get some water. My mouth feels dry. I feel like there's a hard conversation about to be had. And the panic is setting in. So, our higher self, sometimes referred to as our inner self or soul, is that very wise part of ourselves that is totally loving and supportive, and always working with us for our greatest and highest good by subtly guiding us and providing us with intuition and deep insight, whether we choose to acknowledge and act on this inner wisdom or ignore it. So your higher selves are working very closely with you both right now. I feel like this reading is confirmation for you about the changes you need to make. So you may have been brought here just to get that clarity that you already knew inside. You just maybe didn't have the words to put to it. You didn't have the energy to connect to. There's not a lot of mirroring around you to show this, except for your inner wisdom. Okay, so shall we see how this conversation is going to go that you're going to have with each other? Let's see, well, how's the conversation going to go between these two? They're going to have a conversation to end, it seems. How is that going to go? So 2 there again. Emerald Tablet Activation, Cosmic Ordering, Divine Alchemy, Conscious Manifesting. Star Being Healing Codes, Important Information, Wounds are Healed, Recharging. So I'm going to use this to directly mean for both of them. So for them, I feel like the end of this connection will mean that they develop the strength, like their anxiety will be healed somewhat because they found stability in doing the right thing for them. The idea of stability is replaced. So it used to be someone else, an attachment, someone providing, and it's being replaced by doing the right thing for myself. I now feel less confused. I feel less anxious, less panicked. I feel safe and secure and clear. I have clarity of mind. And this boosts them. This boosts them forward on such a beautiful, wild and intense and interesting path. They really shine after this connection. They really come into their power. So for them, Star Being Healing Codes, they feel the freedom. They feel really pulled to... They really want to step out of their body, almost. Like they feel really tied to this humdrum way of life, and they're desperate to step out of it because what they are is completely eccentric. It's completely different, radical, and they have so much to add to the earth. They're like coming to change change things in the earth, change dynamics, change views, change how things are done. I feel like this one works very much with Mercury and Uranus, and they cannot wait to just expand and really show their true colours. Very exciting paths for both of them. So this was supposed to be how the conversation was going to go. I feel like I need to pull a tarot card for that. I feel like this is what's going to happen after the conversation. How will it go between them? What kind of theme will the conversation be? Give them a heads up. What kind of theme will their conversation be? Let's have a heads up for them. Please, can you pull out maybe one card and give confirmation of how the theme of this conversation may be? So what's the emotion? What's the energy? Oh, so I do have two. I'm going to take them both. So Knight of Swords reversed and King of Cups reversed. So I think they're gonna start with the usual pattern. It's not gonna be direct. They're gonna ease in with what they usually do. So what they usually do is provide the cup. I'm here to provide for your needs. This is my role. And they're like, I'm here to provide, let's see, King of Swords, to provide my needs for you to meet them. That's what I'm getting. And they're like, well, they're kind of coming forward with a, well, I don't know, I'm not sure, kind of non-assertive energy about what their needs are. And they're like, I'm giving you this. Is this not enough? I'm confused. And it's that kind of ambiguity, confusion comes in first. And then, I don't know, who starts it, who initiates it? This one's quick to be like, okay, you don't want it. That's fine, I know this is perfect. So if you don't want it, you don't want it. And this one's like, I don't, but I do want this. This is what I want. Wouldn't this be interesting, this kind of idea? I'm getting kind of like, the Myers-Briggs personality, kind of INFP, INTJ, the intuitive, theoretical, invites a philosophical discussion of what romance could be, what life could look like. And this one kind of drops his armor, and they're kind of like, oh yeah, no, I think this is all bullshit. I feel like it all comes out in the open, and they're like a bit shocked, but saying, okay, I think we should end this then. And they're like, right, okay. So it's not really, I feel like it's on an open-ended, not really a solution. There's still mixed feelings because there's like, well, why have you been in this? Well, why have you been in this? That needs to sort out and heal, but it's the best they can do because they haven't really fully explored this idea yet. So that's how the conversation is going to go. And we've looked into the future. So let's have a closing message then. I don't know if is there anything else you want me? I'm hearing to ask who they'll meet, if there'll be another love after this. How will this close out? What's the closing theme for them? I'm going to stick with tarot for this because I read this deck very well. So we'll go with the moon. So what's the closing energy? Will they meet somebody new? How will this close out? How will they find peace and closure from this connection, please? I'm going to try and do 30-minute long videos for each. Okay, so, oh, there's 2 there. I'm going to put it like, oh, there's 3. Okay, then. Right, okay, so for the moon, okay, they're going to focus on their idea of love. I feel like the moon wants to explore more. They have ideas, they have fantasies, they want to try and obtain it, they want to try and attract it and explore it. And I think it's more about, again, creating their identity and fueling their imagination. They want things to write about, they want things to paint about, to sing about. So they're going to chase after this and explore romance, other romantic discourses, they're looking for a muse. They're finally connecting with source of creation, and they're going to create their own world and art from it. I feel very much artist energy here, and they're going to express their truth to the world. That's the next step. They're going to be very sharp though. They're not going to be fooled again by any false idea of love. They're only accepting genuineness, and they're going to be very clear about their mind. They're going to be very attractive to people because they're intelligent and they're transparent and they're sharp thinking. And they do have friends and they do have support. Even though they're still exploring, they're not really looking for the one, they're looking for inspiration. They want to play and explore, like I say, but they're in a much more empowered place. They feel stable. I also just noticed that I was breathing fine for a while, so the anxiety did lift. But there's always going to be returns. There's always, 2 dogs are alert here, 1's sleeping. There's always going to be little soft spots that people can come into, and that's where the art reveals new knowledge. So let's, for this one, what's the closure? Will they meet someone else? What's the closure of this connection for them? Okay, I'll take these 2. Okay, so, okay. Oh, this one. I'm getting, oh, okay. Well, I don't know which one of you is watching this video, but this one I'm getting, you're going to be a bit of a play person. You know, you're going to scorn some, you're going to enchant some. You're going to have to face judgment, and you're going to have to face consequences. I feel like you're going to go through a bit of a very playful phase. You have two different energies you're impacting people by that are going to chase after you, and you've got to face judgment for that, although it's upside down. So this would be, again, these 2 energies watching. That, to me, that's the judge. They know what they're doing and justice is coming. So for here, I feel like this one didn't know what they were doing, but these 2 catch up with them, and this is divinely orchestrated. So it may go on for a while, but they're going to get humbled, they're going to mature. What I'm seeing is the Witcher, the Witcher main character energy. So they're going to have a bit of a past, but when judgment comes, they're going to be humbled and take on some kind of quest, some kind of higher role to prove themselves and step into. So there you go, that's your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm going to clear the deck now for group number 2. So thank you very much for watching. And I hope you have a good day or night, or whatever time it is that you're watching from. Bye. Right, okay. If you're reading this, you're watching me clear away because I don't have a video editor yet. So let's move on to our group number 2s. There we go. You get to see all the behind the scenes here, don't we? Okay, so where are our group number 2s? So, hi group number 2s. So what's really interesting about your pile is that when I was shuffling for the energy and theme of the romantic discourse for group number 2, you had 2 animal cards that popped out that kind of said the same thing, and it was really hard to choose between them. I didn't want to put 2 when the others had 1. So your choice was between 2 elephants and 2 pandas. I'll see if I can find the 2 pandas. So you also got panda, so I may as well put it down now since the other cards groups won't see. Okay, so here you've got the amethyst. So your romantic discourse is about love, connection, family building. I feel like it's That's it. It's family building. And it's healing and love and connection. So we'll put that there. Open yourself to true abundance, stay balanced and in your essence. So you're on a unique journey. Let's see. Where did I start with group 1? So I said, what is the theme of the romantic discourse that you're on right now? What is the theme of the romantic discourse that you're on right now? Please, Spirit, for this group, what is the romantic discourse theme? Okay, so I've got Earth Star activation. Okay, so immediately I feel like you're taking action into changing the discourse. So you're actually helping to change the vibrations of Earth into something more loving. You're putting it in flow. You're creating a new image of what love is. I feel like you've got a very good idea of what love and compassion is. And you're setting things in motion. You're grounding it. So it's not just from your heart. You're putting it into practical measures. So you're creating a shelter for the ones you love. You're creating nourishment for the ones you love. There's an equal give and take. Your role is prominent. You're understood as a whole person yourself. You understand fully the whole beings of your family, your young, your partner, however you live. And with this energy, it's so crystal clear. Others are kind of watching, and you are kind of like a model for other people. Other people think, right, that's the standard. Oh, I need to align with this behavior. Okay, so let's see, what shall we get into? Let's get into this one. Okay, so what are group 2 learning from this theme? Tell us a story about group 2. What are they learning from this theme? Tell me a story about group 2. What is this path about? Let's see, how did they come onto this path? I'm not seeing, to me, I'm not really seeing it's about partnership. I'm seeing this about an individual and the family that they're creating right now. So this is about romantic discourse. So can you tell me more about this? Okay, I'm going to pull 2. Knight of Pentacles. Right, okay. Okay, I feel like this has come from a Knight of Pentacles energy. I don't feel like I want to take that. I feel like I want to take that. Okay, so the problem here is that this didn't just fall on your lap. You understood lackluster, false love. You've experienced it. You've noticed it's not grounded. So the efforts that you were offered by previous partners, or perhaps your own family, fell flat. That's really nice that you said nice things, but that's not going to pay the bills. That's really nice that you bought me flowers, but that's not going to feed our family. That's nice that you made yourself beautiful, but are you nutritious? Are you healthy? So I'm feeling like there's a very earthy kind of love that's being shown here, connected through the minds of the physical vessel. So the kind of stepping away from flimsy, something that's short term that won't last, quite immature energy, they're stepping away from. They've learned to build up their practical fulfillment from scratch. They understand how everything works, and they're very disciplined, I'm getting. And they really enjoy that. They enjoy doing things the hard way, the long way, and that's how they're raising their family. They could be homeschooling their children. They could be teaching them the outdoors, how to make a fire, how to build a tent, how to cook with multiple resources, you know, with the fire, with the stove, everything, how to sew their own clothes. It really just giving back from the minimalist. We're not just buying things here. We're not buying a service. We're not using the internet. we're using our own inner resources and tools. Because they know heartbreak, they know loss, they know hardship. They know feeling completely depleted, and I feel like they've known heartbreak. Almost, I'm seeing like ancestors or a generation above, they've seen them fall because they didn't know how to build practically, and they watched them suffer, and their heart was broken over that. And they've kind of broken a cycle, created their own legacy, and gone back to nature, and everything's safe. I feel like their family is safe. So I'm going to push these up a little bit and move on. So let's hear the story then about the romantic discourse. So let's get past life energy. Oh, that was fast, wasn't it? Okay, so in a past life, they may have been in a romantic relationship that was a karmic. So masculine and feminine energies within them may have been very unbalanced. They may have relied on another to make them whole, which is obviously very risky, and it's not safe, it's not stable. And they may have felt like they had fulfilled an image of the idea of achievement and winning according to the culture. So yes, I got married. We lived many, many years. We had a family. We were wealthy. We were stable. But they realized they weren't happy. It was like all material ego needs. So in this life, they're kind of dedicated to making it mean something. Every resource they've got is not to show off. It's to have a purpose and be grateful for. Therefore, I feel like the masculine and feminine energy within them is more balanced. Somebody else isn't to make them whole. Somebody else is to join their tribe, which is a big difference. I feel again like what wounds were carried from a past life into this one. Authority figures. I think it's following the herd, but the herd didn't know what was in everybody's greatest good. And I think that's why they became so responsible themselves in this life. They don't trust in authority figures because what they've known is authority figures that just want to benefit themselves. You know, it's about they do what they need to do to stay in power, to stay looking good, to retain their image, and only a small percentage goes to the people. It's a very political and inauthentic game. So what they have is more truth and connection and openness. It's very much connected to the heart chakra and earth. So I would say the green heart chakra. I'm not sure what the two mean. There's two heart chakras, pink and green. And I kind of see pink as compassion and green as practical. You know, like Libra and Taurus for Venus energy. Okay, so let's tell a story then. Where is this going? Where is this romantic discourse going? Tell me about it. Oh, there's a few cards that want to come out. I'm sure they will. I'll keep shuffling and I'm sure they will come out. Okay, so a few people are unhappy about this. And because this way of life is defying their image of love and achievement. So this is breaking the norm. However they're living is working, it's abundant, but people aren't happy about it. They see them as, they're really devaluing what you're doing. They're like saying untrue and derogatory things like, oh, this is immature, you haven't grown up yet. You know, something that's not true when what you're doing is actually very wise and mature. More mature than what they're doing, because yours is more healed, you've learned lessons, and what they're doing is trying to hide behind looking a certain way. And they're just trying to devalue because it makes them look bad. So if you succeed at what you're doing, they can't say that I was wrong. I mean, they'll have to say that they were wrong. So they're hoping you don't succeed. They're trying to stop you from succeeding so that they stay in their winning energy, because they've got nothing else. They've only got the words. They've got nothing else. Their world is bleak. All they've got is their sharp tongue. So they may be very manipulative. You may be dealing with someone who's testing you, whose higher self is here to test your path. Okay, so I feel like this could have been an old lover. I feel like you could have left a toxic relationship and you realised that the idea of love that you were seeing was not real. It was an illusion, because there's a power play here, there's control, there's coveting, there's separation between masculine and feminine. So it could have resembled your past life, and that's how you spotted it so quickly. And you had maybe a strong reaction to it that really shocked your old partner, because it's not a big deal to them. They're like, you're making a big deal out of nothing. I'm hardly doing anything. Why are you shocked? But you understand on such a deep level the impact of falsity to the soul. The soul is so much more, whereas this one hasn't explored the soul at all. So again, they just want to devalue and destroy to protect their word, because they have nothing else. There's nothing else inside. And you kind of ran as fast as you could, and you created something whole and abundant. And they don't understand that. They can't see it. They think it's a fantasy. They really need to focus on themselves, but they're still focusing on you. Okay, so I feel like, how I'm interpreting this is that the magician is the con man, and this is this person trying to con you into thinking you need all of these things to be happy. And you were curious before when you were young. When you were much younger, I feel like you met this person. They may be older, and you're seeing through it. You're like, I need things, but not these things. And you're conning me for your own gain. It's not to do with my best interest. And you're just completely turning it down. You've moved on. You like are worlds away from this person. They're clinging on by their thoughts, their ideas of you. But really, like, what do they say? Like, people who try and reach out and communicate, if you give them nothing, they just stop. But if you engage, then they've got a relationship to attach to. So here, the High Priestess. You turned away from the con man, and you turned towards a woman you adored, who is more independent, but living in the wealth. I feel like she had a tribe. She was kind of the queen of the tribe, and you asked her how she did it, and she was just so she was so blunt. You've never known somebody so forthright about their opinion, and she was just so uniquely honest and true. And the tribe couldn't lie around her, so you tried to look for you in her. And you realised, it's not really how I want to do things. It's not my culture, not my tribe. But I appreciate that you've got something real. And so you took it to your family. You made like a gentle, loving relationship to grow together. Very gently manoeuvring life. Whereas this one is a little bit more harsher, rough around the edges, but it works. And you just you went exploring other ways of doing things. Okay, so where is this discourse going? So I already see here that, this is making big changes. This is a new image of love that the world hasn't seen yet. Four of Cups. I feel like you have a lot of children, or you're responsible for a lot. It could be nature, it could be plants, it could be people. Are you in a relationship? That's what I want to know. Four of Coins. I feel like you have a lot of suitors. You have a lot of people who are interested, who want to offer you money. I also see this as religion. You have people who want to align you. They're like, I like your spirit. I like how you see the good in the world. Come and join my religion. But you're a bit iffy. You're a bit, well, that looks like authority to me. That looks like rules. What I've got is working, even though I kind of want my people. So I feel like you're alone right now. I don't feel like you're in a relationship. So what's going on? So this is what this person, you may get a love offer from someone, but it's another form of control. They're not far away from them, but they filled their world with rules, religion, and they want to offer you teamwork. But the thing is, how they see it is the idea of perfection in a higher power's eyes. And you have to fit to that. It's like a script to follow. It's a role to play, and it's kind of controlling this good image. And you're more in an exploratory nature. This again relies on others, whereas you rely on how you connect with the earth. So why are you drawn to this person? Why is this person having such an appeal to you? Okay, 4 of Wands. Because you're starting to get ambitious. You're starting to want to have a little bit of control, power, money. Because you have ideas of grounding things. You're learning a lot. You have a lot to offer. Okay, so I'm going to pull this forward because I feel like this is in between. So you have ambition. You feel like you have this purpose, this divine purpose, to ground your ideas, your version of love into reality. And this person identifies with that. They see that and they're supportive. So you feel seen. But how they translate what's happening is into religion. You need to create a religion with me. This could really add to our religion. And to live this perfect fantasy. So something feels a bit off, but that's why you're drawn to them. So let's get a story. Just going to change my position. Getting a bit numb. Perhaps going into that relationship will make you feel numb, because you have to shut off your intuition and your instincts, which you've relied on so much. Okay, so Temperance upside down. Again, so here where you would be relying on the earth and your own cup in creating balance, you're completely subservient. What they're saying is, you could add to my image. So it's again, you're coming along these themes with masculine energy of being molded to their image. So that's your romantic discourse, is you are in between. You've come from a place of youthful, feminine, with a masculine telling them who they should be, to more of a mystical feminine in your power, meeting a masculine that is much more well-rounded and balanced, but still wants to mold the world to them. So you haven't lost your power, and you're coming in, you would destroy it. If you went with that person, you would burn it to the ground, you'd create chaos. You're not who they want you to be, who they think you are, and in the end they will leave, kind of like Leonardo DiCaprio with the 25-year-olds. He can't make them who he wants them to be, he doesn't know who he is, and so it will end. So you will destroy that image. Did another card come out? Yeah, the world. Because you have the world. You have what they don't. And again, what you're doing is you're threatening these images of these masculines. So they don't want you to succeed without laws or rules, because they still don't know true, authentic love. You do. You learned it through sacrifice in the past, and you have the world and you have divine connection that they don't. So there may be some tension there. There may be some unfruitful words is what I want to say. Okay, so what blessings will come to pile 2? Will they meet somebody? 10 of coins. What blessings? How will this romantic discourse close? What is coming for them? What kind of love relationship will this end on? What's the next journey? What's the next part of the journey? How will this close out? Okay. Right, so we have 10 of coins, Knight of coins, and 9 of swords. Right. So what I'm seeing is, I think I asked, will you find love? Who will be next? You are manifesting it. So I see you in the painting creating a happy family with a partner, and it's just pure love. It's pure grounding. There's no ego involved. It's just you are safe to be yourselves and you're enjoying life together. You feel stable because of the resources you have within yourselves, and you feel secure because of the attachments you have to each other. They're very healthy and they're loyal and committed. That's what you're manifesting, and you're painting it. And you're kind of throwing everything you have into creating it. I feel like you're looking at this. This is what you've been offered before, and it doesn't have a patch on this. But I still see that ambition. I still see you having ambition and wanting to start a business. So I almost see you looking towards the business. Like you kind of feel a bit jaded in love. You're like, I'm going to start a business and have my wealth. But in the back of your mind, this is all you really want. You're kind of chasing ambition and the money a bit. But that's all you really want. That is riches to you. So you're kind of like, yeah, that's in the back of your mind. You're going to go in a different direction. And you're going to meet the Knight of Coins. Okay. How shall we interpret this then? So you're going to meet somebody who's going to make a business offer. You recognize they're a little bit less evolved than you. You understand how they work. But you can partner up on a business level, not on a romantic level. Because they can provide the resources you need. So you're going to take the resources you need to fund and ground what you know, and you're going to stay separate from that. However, this is going to cause suffering for you, because you kind of feel like you're letting yourself down. You've been through these lessons before in past lives, in your earlier life. You know not to partner up with these type of people who are all about the material gain, achievement. That's what they're going to talk about with you. You could be a winner. This is how you gain success. You have to do this to do this. Quite manipulative. And you're really doubting yourself. You're really at a crossroads. Like, how do I get through life without meeting these types of people? You know, so you've got to ask yourself. You come into this crossroad, you've got to ask yourself on your journey, which choices are you making? So let's see, are there any hopeful messages here that we can finish on? So you've got 5 of Swords. So I see you walking away from this offer, you know, and this energy doesn't really understand why. They're quite guarded. They're not going to take it well. They're going to be they're going to throw a tantrum a bit. You've seen it all before. You're like, whatever. You walk away. So where will that leave you? So we'll say, where will that leave you? Because let's not forget, you are rising. You have a beautiful energy. So 2 of Wands. I would see the 2 of Wands as being inspired, collecting ideas with the world, how you want to change the world. So I'm seeing that as you don't want to change the world. You've got a little coop, you've got a little family and shelter, and you appreciate the world. And that's magic. And I feel like this brings you closer to this, Because when you accept the beauty and innocence and nurturing, you accept, you know, a masculine who's more balanced in the feminine, who's the same. They don't have an agenda. They don't have a need to win or prove themselves. They're more aligned with you. So let's get healing messages to finish off. Okay, what are healing messages that my group 2s could learn on the Romantic Discourse Journey? So I feel like this wanted to come out. Open-mindedness. Okay. So this one says, the problem we all have is that we generally only see things from our own perspective and often assume that the way we see things is the way others see things. This is often at the root cause of problems with other people, which in turn can lead to the development of negative emotions, so we need to become more open-minded. So this is how these masculines have been thinking, that everyone sees things the way they see things, and they're threatened if people see things differently. And you have seen things very differently all your life, and each time you kind of are bent to how they see things. Like, should I change my mind? But by manifesting this dream, which is against the norm, and you want to ground reality, I think this card means be open-minded about how you can ground it. So that's the way you've been shown to ground it, you know? And maybe there's another way that you can ground it. And I feel like you were grounding it by just being you. You created so much and you were continuing to ground it. So just maybe be more discerning about how you create this ambition and this abundance, because you do have a divine purpose. You do have so much to offer, and you are leading the way. You are a model for people of how to live. So you know which energies are working against you and which energies are working for you. So thank you for being a leading light. I'm going to end your reading there. So I hope that was helpful for you. And you have a lovely day, night, evening, whatever time you're watching this. Thank you. Right, so I'm just going to clear away for pile 3 so you get to watch the behind the scenes if you're watching all the readings, which I know some people do, to see what they resonate with. So there you go, this is what happens. And this is because I'm just filming this and then I'm going to edit it. No, I don't have editor. I'm going to upload it straight away. So here's the raw deal. No script here. Okay, right. Let us move on. Who do we have left? So hello, my beautiful pile 3. Oh, I've been waiting. Finally. So we got the 2 deer for you. Trust in the support of the universe. So black obsidian is a protection against negative energies. And I really feel like you have someone you can lean on and rely on protecting you. So already an interesting start. So let's begin. I want to know, what is the theme of this energy? What is the theme of this energy? What is the theme of pile 3's romantic discourse? What are the insights their discourse is bringing them? So let's not be sneaky. I know you wanted to come out. Right, who have we got? We've got solar light upgrade. Okay, there's some big changes. I feel like you're walking away from some really dark energy right now, and it's very scary. You're watching your backs. You wouldn't do it if you didn't feel like you were safe and protected. This may be through the law. This may be through and just taking a risk, trusting in you found the right community, and you're leaving something behind that was toxic and unhealthy. And you're stepping into this light, this awakening, this freedom. It's like a heavy burden's been lifted and you're releasing this. I feel like you've held on to it for a long time. So the romantic discourse, what part of the journey are you on? What energies and themes can it show us about pile 3? Okay, go on then. Star gathering. So I feel like there's a nice peaceful future for you where you can relax. You just enjoy little things like looking at the stars, looking at the lakes, really smelling nature in the trees, feeling the wind on your face. You feel for the first time, possibly in your life, freedom. I think you were threatened before. So I'm going to look at, so tell me a story here about where pile 3 came from, just for confirmation, about romantic love discourse. What do they know about it? Where have they come from? What did pile 3 know of romantic love discourse so far? Okay, so we've got 4 of Wands. So I'm drawn to that person at the top that's cowering down, kind of subservient. I am almost pinned up on the wall as a collection piece, as a prize of ownership, and I serve. And that's my identity. Someone's got a hold of my power, my ideas are in somebody else's control. And they could see the fruit that I could bear. So I feel heartbreak here. An inner death, possibly depression, from not being allowed to own their ideas. Okay. So that's what you've known of the romantic love discourse. And you kind of, something in you kind of wanted to explore and play. You stopped being watched so closely. You kind of you were trusted that you didn't know what was going on. You didn't know that you were being controlled and manipulated. This was normal. So there was some freedom given to you because you seemed like you didn't know. You seemed quite powerless and like they had you under the thumb. So here's a keyhole. I see that watching someone and, you know, not being afraid to turn a blind eye. They feel quite untouchable. So you're just kind of, in a way, it's like along the energy of neglect and abandonment. You're playing and you've picked up, this dog is connected and watching and playing, and you're not used to that. You're not used to being followed, like you have to lead, you have to make the ideas. And you came up with playful random things. I mean, here you want to jump off a cliff with an umbrella. You had wild fantasies of escape and freedom. That would worry people. But to you, it was more like your anger was coming out in a humorous, playful way in your imagination, in your play. And this was good because the sun was coming out from behind the clouds. Your identity was growing free from these clutches. I'm going to go into a different tarot deck that I read a lot better. So tell me the story here of how pile 3 got freedom. So the tower moment. Okay, so the devil here. I don't see the devil as I feel like I need to... so this is just my opinion only, but I don't see the devil representing a bad guy in this. I feel like the devil represents unhealthy attachments, and it's burning down the tower so you can be free. So you're freeing yourself from unhealthy attachments. The tower's burned down. The crown's fallen off the ruler's head. So what has happened here then? How has this happened? How have you broken free? How have you found your identity and left this unhealthy attachment? So I've got 6 of Cups in reverse. You learned that you just don't give. You're not here to just give. That's all you were seen as, someone who could endlessly give. They didn't have a world of their own. No one was giving back. It's a dark world that she lives in, and they just expect cups from her. And you realize you can't keep that up. 7 of Wands. So you weren't in your power, you didn't feel powerful. And you had thoughts about dark magic, I feel. I'm seeing that vindictive, angry play, want to play with magic. And you started filling your own cup. You started seeing yourself as, no, I'm worthy too. You kind of swung the pendulum from being nothing to being everything. You're playing with the idea of you being everything, even if it's in your imaginations. You're imagining people giving to you, wanting you, throwing money at you. You're imagining yourself as being famous. I almost feel like a thirst for fame, for recognition. King of Swords. So you don't care about this person's idea of you anymore, their words, because in your mind you're protected by what you deserve. So you feel like they're trying to bring you down. You've almost created a narrative where you're the trapped princess in a tower who's trying to be brought down by an evil king, evil father figure in a way. King of Wands. They keep throwing ideas at you to manipulate you back into your role, into your position. It's not working because you see yourself as deserving the world. I'm seeing Cruella de Vil and how she goes from poverty to riches with her talents. Like nothing can stop her. She's in her villain era. The world. And I feel like this is opening up a whole new world for you. So where are you on your romantic discourse journey? So I feel like you're in your vengeful feminine area. You don't like the role that the dark masculine has put you in, and you don't want to use them to get what you want, but you feel like you deserve what you want. So I feel like that's where you're at right now. Okay, so what messages do we have for group number 3? Please, what messages do we have for group number 3, please, about the romantic discourse journey? Because I see that they've broken free from this attachment and they feel like they can enjoy the earth again. So I feel like here you were in an unhealed energy. So maybe this was the past and this is the future. So you feel more healed. You can let go of these ego desires of what you deserve. They protected you and helped you survive. And then when you broke free, you realized they didn't matter. All you wanted was freedom and to discover your identity. Okay. So we've got more cards. I'm going to take the whole story. Okay, so King of Coins. They can throw money at you. They can actually pay. They're trying to pay people off to get the services to sell the narrative to get you. You feel quite powerless. You feel like your word means nothing. You feel like you can't be alone, like you're trapped. You feel like you're trapped in a feminine role that's been thrust upon you. This is your job to serve. You're supposed to give, you're supposed to nurture. And in this bleak, dark world again, the Lovers. So you're supposed to have children, you're not supposed to be in love. It is just your duty. So I don't know if you come from a culture where you are supposed to be seen and not heard. And this was what was thrust upon you. And it's weighing heavy on you because you had ideas of you being larger than life. You weren't in this role at all. You were more recognized. And you've got a sharp imagination. That's why I see Cruella de Vil. She's got a sharp expression of art and ambition, and quite dynamic to add to the world. So 8 of Cups, you are raw, but instead of being vengeful, you feel defeated. You feel like you're burning away, you're burned out, you're melting, you're being destroyed. So that's what I see. What's next in this tale? How do you break free? How did you break free? Depending on where you are in this journey, because you will break free. So solar plexus. It's just about nurturing and healing your sense of self and identity, your core being. So you feel quite damaged and burdened. by creating riches for others. You're in rags, but they're in riches. And in the back of your mind, you kind of think, is it possible to have a happy, loving family? And all you know is money and control. Ace of Wands. You start going off into your imagination again. So you've gone from feeling absolutely burned and destroyed to you're burning with ideas and imagination. You're walking back into recognition, back into power. Very like, what energy am I seeing here? It's kind of half Leo, half Libra. I feel like this card wants to come out. And this came out again. So I don't know if you have a younger brother or there's a younger masculine energy around you that's trapped in their role, and they kind of are bitter towards you because it's what they've learned. You're walking away, you're not giving them the time of day, but they don't really have any power. They just kind of feel confused and stuck in it. They're very disconnected from everybody. Like, it's not serving them either, this narrative, this cultural narrative. And they're young enough to know that. So you're envisioning this life where you are the goddess. Everybody kind of caters to you. You get what you need, this fantasy. Someone is bowing to you. They're still the provider. You have children that are running around, and you have all your cups filled. So you rely on these fantasies, these ambitions. You are such a creative. You don't feel like you have the strength right now. You feel like the money and control is too strong, and you feel like any chance of escape is a con. It's not real. Still surrounded by manipulation. Knight of Coins. Someone can offer you freedom and a way out, and I think you take it. King of Wands. They turn out to be controlling as well and manipulative. And you see this. You've kind of got some wealth from being with them, and you're more refined, and you're kind of planning your next move. You kind of feel like you're getting recognition. You've got beauty. You've got freedom, and you're wondering if this is enough for you, but you still get depressed. You still see the tower in the back of your mind. You still feel like you haven't run from it, and you're still daydreaming about love, true love. So you're in between this place. I would say this is, I don't know where you were, where you are. You're in between. So here you've got material wealth, you're recognized, you're beautiful, you're envied, but you're under control and manipulation, who's just self-gratifying, still sees you as an object to get what they want. But you feel like this is a role I've always known, but I've got more power here. I've got more recognition. But on the low nights, you feel like you're still closer to the tower than you are the cups. But you're actually closer to the cups. You're closer to your own ideas and your own mind. You have freedom to express and create art. So, Three of Wands. So you hold, in this card, you're holding out one, but you've got two ideas behind you. So reversed, I feel like you still don't know what to do with all your creative energy. It still feels like, I feel like you're confused, like the world's turned upside down. You're not thinking straight. You might be numbing this feeling here, and you might want to pay a deal with the devil to get what you want, to get the cup. Okay, so where is this tale going? How do they become free? Where is this tale going? Do they make a deal with the devil to be free? So bad luck. I feel like you do make a deal with the devil and you get bad luck from it because it's another con man, and you lose your position here. You had this and you lose it. So you kind of lost it all. You're in the darkness. You thought you were in the best position you've ever been in, but now you're in the darkness. But in the darkness, when you've got nothing left, you've got no wealth, you've got no power, you've got no connections, but you have your inner magic, you have the earth. You stop kind of craving recognition now. You stop craving the fantasy of being the best, being wanted, proving your worth, manipulating people who want you to get what you want. You've let that go. you've embraced being hidden. You're in the dark side of the moon to reconnect with life. And I feel like you're actually going to meet somebody who's going to change your world, going to change your view on the romantic discourse and everything you believed about love being an economic power dynamic within your cultural role. So you're going to meet somebody who's your opposite, your counterpart. You see yin and yang here, who could very well be this deer that offers protection, and you're going to have a really tight, secure bond with each other. They're going to be very connected to spirit. They're going to be a trustworthy person, and through them you're going to connect more to spirit, and you're going to connect more to your heart. Right now you're confused. You didn't see this coming. It's out the blue. 7 of Swords. So instead of collecting all of the weapons that could be used against you, you're kind of just watching. You're looking at the pain that's been done to you. You're not fighting against it. You're looking at it. You're vulnerable to attack. That's what I feel. I don't know why you let it happen. You kind of let yourself fall. You're in a position of letting yourself fall. Let's get these two. And again, you find when you fall, you go into fantasy. It's almost like a repeated pattern, and you rely on the fantasy to protect you. And the fantasy here is, again, you're the weaver of magic. You can create, you can manifest your own wealth, magical world, and you have followers and beauty and accolades of women around you. So you fall into this sometimes. This is a pattern. Okay, so this wanted to come out, not that. 2 of Swords. I feel like I need to swap the decks. 2 of Swords. But in this fantasy, you're leaving yourself vulnerable to attack because you're not seeing clearly. You're not seeing... You're kind of trusting the world around. You've accepted your role. The fantasy is just to protect you from your role. So you can't strike back against it. You don't know what your tools are. You don't know what your options are, what's in your cards. So what happens then? What's the change? Because we saw a counterpart. When do they come in? So 6 of Wands. So I feel like you meet somebody who's very in their own ideas, very philosophical. They're living by their ideas alone. And when you meet them, you're in a place where you're crying. You're no longer in your fantasy. You're not depressed either. You're just witnessing the pain. So that those hits that you took from being vulnerable, you're crying them out now. You're seeing that the people were against you. They're laughing at you, devaluing you. And your ego is strong enough to face the truth of that. You don't need to hide behind, I should be seen and recognized. You don't need to go into depression where you're numb. You see that they didn't have your best interests at heart, and you're crying for yourself because you love yourself. Okay, so that's when you meet this person, 6 of Wands, who's got all his ideas behind him, but he's chosen one. He's kind of like, I get him to be someone who fights for justice, who's very moralistic, who stands up for people. Queen of Pentacles. And I see you as being I see you here as being, you feel like you've got something. I feel like when you cried, you owned yourself, and you've got something there. Even if it's small, even if it's something you made or it's something you have, you nurture it. You become grateful for it, and you start connecting with the earth around you, and you start nurturing that. You recognize the small things you've got, and you're building an identity. I'm kind of seeing Cinderella from the live action movie that's building an identity around how she impacts the earth, and it defines who she is as a person. It defines her worth. That's why people can't get her down, because she realizes that how they defined her worth actually was a reflection of their worth. So she's building new. 9 of Cups. And I feel like she's going to meet this person, and they're going to instantly connect, and he's going to offer all these cups. To him, it's, well, I'm just offering you the bare minimum. And to her, it's, it's so much, it's wealth, because she hasn't even known one. And she's going to feel like she's won at life. And it's not the accolades and rewards and envy that she thought it was. It was just literally a loving, safe space where she gets her needs met. And this person is more than capable. This person is humble, lives by the morals, a really genuine, decent person. Okay, so how does she break free? How does this person break free? The Emperor. Through law. I feel like she goes to the courts and she breaks through law. Okay, any final messages? 10 of Wands. So she's got a hard task to build a new life. She's starting from scratch, but she's in a safe space. She's happy. She's more connected to nature. She's got her partner, her loyal partner, and she's never been happier. And she's got the obsidian blocking negative energies away. She's more in unison with herself. And so I feel like it's a really beautiful new beginning of self-love, of finding love and connection with the other who's got your back, and it's just connecting with the earth again. It's very beautiful, simplistic, and the word, I feel mineral is the word, that it's not a normal thing to say right now, but mineralistic. There you have it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull from the animal deck, and then I'm going to pull some healing messages. So what does this new life teach our pile 3 about their journey on the romantic discourse? What does this new life of peace, love, hard work and abundance teach her? Accept happiness and good fortune. Is to just simply accept happiness. So you don't need to fantasize anymore. You don't need to go numb. You don't need to suffer at the hands of others. You've been given happiness, which is really hard, and it can really hurt when we're not used to it. And when we accept it, it makes us realize all the pain that we went through in the past, which can be hard to face. It breaks down all of our guards, all of our protection tools, and it opens up so much pain. But when you accept it, you are free. And you start to value yourself, see the world bigger, it expands. It's just a journey to go through. And it shows how strong you are. So my throat closed up there. So you might finally feel like you have a voice, like your chords, your musical instrument had gone dusty. And so you may be clearing your pipes, you may be beginning to sing and create. Your creative expression may come out in spiritual song, in spiritual music, and you may start to heal using spiritual song and earth. So let's get some healing messages for our group 3, please, about their romantic love discourse journey that we learned through being on earth. So I've got a few. I'm going to shuffle again and see if there's anything else that wants to come out. So I've got honour and respect others. I feel like that was a big theme of your journey, with how you were treated and your fantasies to get your worth back. Climate of understanding, a climate of compassion. So it was all to create a new climate, a new culture. So we'll read this one first. We make conscious choices when we make contact with people, choosing those from whom we wish to learn, those we want as friends, and those we work with. But we need to honour and respect all the people we interact with in our lives, not just those in our inner circle, because everyone we meet is in some way one of our teachers, whether we love them or loathe them, because they are all helping us to learn and grow spiritually. We also need to extend this kindness to ourselves because we are important too. So that's a very humbling. I'm seeing Moses and the film about Egypt. I haven't seen it, you know, where it's the song When We Believe. I feel like that has the theme. So if we could generate a climate of understanding, perhaps people wouldn't feel they had to stick so rigidly to their own ideas, but would instead recognize that other people's ideas had value too. So some sensible compromises could be reached. So again, it's feeling safe to open the mind to new ways of being loved and worth, which is very scary. A climate of compassion. So if we could generate a climate of compassion, perhaps we would recognize that everyone becomes the person they are because of the sum of their experiences so far. So maybe then we wouldn't judge others so harshly. So I think this message is to tell you, please do not judge yourself. You've been on such a journey, and everything that happened to you was what was taught to you, everything that you knew, that you lived within, and it did not serve you. And you escaped your fantasies, associating what you learned that defined worth to save you, and you went up and down, and you, through your own resilience, you started rebuilding yourself and being gentle with yourself and facing the fear and risk of opening your mind to something new. And you let in happiness by meeting someone, and you're going through the challenges. You've opened up a new world for healing in nature. You've got so much to share with that, and it's a beautiful journey, and it's very human and real. So if compassion is needed, understanding is needed, and you've learned the lesson of honor and respect through your journey. So I think I'm going to leave it here. So thank you so much for watching today. This has been your pile, and I wish you protection as you go forward. So thank you, Pile 3. Goodbye.